Hello, mysterious unknown listener. My name is Dana Sutton, and this is a brief intro to my new podcast called Life Trippin, which you can find at www.lifetrippin.com and soon on iTunes. In planning my first podcast, longtime listener, first-time podcaster, I thought the first episode might be way too long if it also included background stuff that I thought just some folks would enjoy hearing about. Thus, this short intro or teaser that I'm calling Trippin' the Life Fantastic. So if that pun truly annoyed you, you may just want to stop right there because I love puns and playing with words and metaphors and so on, and you'll hear some of that in every episode. As a life coach, I think my blend of humor and seriousness is really helpful. Podcasts like Radio Lab, This American Life, and my friend Mike Meadows' podcast called Court Appointed all do a great job of bringing both of those things together, and I'm going to try to do the same. So first, what the heck is a life coach? Well, what it's not is someone who's an expert, who has it all figured out and tells others how to live their lives. I believe you are the best and only expert for your own life. So what I and other life coaches do is try to help you do that better by becoming more aware of the things that drive you, your thoughts, your choices, your values, and the opportunities that are often hiding right in plain sight. Most simply, how we do that is by asking questions, hopefully really good questions that make you go, that's a really good question. You know, the kind that just makes you pause or even makes you just a little uncomfortable because it hits pretty close to home. Part of what makes me love asking those kinds of questions is my own playfulness. At times, I guess I'm still kind of like a mischievous kid, but I also love helping people discover new things, new possibilities about themselves, others, and the world around them. I did that for 25 years, first as a church pastor and then as a campus minister and part-time adjunct professor at a large university. And now I guess I'm kind of like a kid in a toy store with these life coaching tools that I've been working on developing for the last few years. Or maybe I'm more like those guys in the mall who stand around demonstrating the high-tech toys, you know, the ones that are flying the little radio control helicopter over your head as you walk underneath cautiously. I've been happily married for nearly 30 years to a great traveling companion who helps ground me. And we have 2 young adult sons that we're really proud of, and I may or may not talk about them at some point. I'm also an aging athlete, and I continue to play soccer and basketball weekly, more or less, though more slowly every year. I'm also a craft beer drinker and thinking about how that might fit into a podcast about life coaching. I love to travel, actual travel in this case, not just metaphorical. And to tell the truth, I'm a starter more than a finisher, so this podcast represents a challenge, but I'm committed to it for as long as I'm having fun and listeners are appreciating it. Recently, I started paying more attention to the people around me who seem happy. What do they have in common? How do they see their life trips? That's part of what brought about this podcast. There are all kinds of podcasts out there about life coaching. There's a whole network called Life Coach Radio, and I would encourage you to check them out. But this one has me, quirky, passionate, hopefully funny. And my goal for each episode is to eventually include a part of an actual coaching session so that listeners can get an idea of how and why coaching actually works. I'm recruiting clients now. You can find themes for some future episodes on the website, so if one or more of them makes you go, yeah, that sounds like where I am, well, you're in luck. You can get some free coaching. And in addition to whatever we do for the podcast, I'll give you another full session, unrecorded, just for contributing. I'll also do whatever you prefer with anonymity, first name only, fake name, witness protection program. And by the way, most of my coaching is done by phone, so your location or time zone is not an issue. Honestly, this is the part of the whole project that I'm most excited and most nervous about. The pressure will be on to ask a great question or two every time, but I think it's worth the payoff for clients and for listeners. What would be awesome is if a question that I ask someone else in an episode also helps you, and I'd really love it if you let me know that. The website has a comment section, or you can always email me at dana@lifetrippin.com. Why Life Trippin? Well, first, I love thinking about life as a trip, both in that 70s way of using that word. Oh, what a trip, man. And also as an adventure, a hero's journey of ups and downs, and sometimes like a Chevy Chase kind of vacation where if you can't laugh about it, you'll just cry, which can sometimes be a good option, by the way. So we'll use trip, traveling, journey, expedition kinds of metaphors as a way of looking at stuff that happens to us and how we might choose to respond rather than react. So if you're in a sailboat and the wind stops, you're living your life kind of cruising along, and one day you wake up and think, I feel like I'm going nowhere. What do? Well, that's an episode right there. And it just felt like I was on Seinfeld trying to pitch a show about nothing. Or if you're still trying to figure out what kind of trip you're on, or more importantly, want to be on, we'll have episodes for you. Like, do you prefer a car, boat, plane, bus, or just good old hiking, walking, running? Not sure how those methods of locomotion work as metaphors for life tripping? Well, tune in. We'll stretch the heck out of both metaphors and minds. I plan to have a friend join me for a few minutes at the beginning to give you an idea of how different coaches, counselors, and other sorts of trip consultants have their own twists on life tripping. And then, hopefully, we'll share a part of a coaching conversation with someone who says they're facing that kind of situation in their life. And with any luck, we'll all learn something new that helps us get more out of our trips, whatever more means to you. More happiness, more peace, more achievements, more enjoyable relationships. So if any of that trips your trigger, check out Life Trippin today at www.lifetrippin.com.